a beautiful woman enters the palace. She's been trained since childhood to be a weapon. Her body is poison. Her kiss is death. And tonight, she will kill a king. But this isn't a modern thriller. It's the story of ancient India, 2,300 years ago, where one man built the world's first spy network, long before the CIA or MI6. Today, we reveal the secrets of this shadow empire, an empire so sharp it could topple kingdoms and outsmart rivals, with psychological warfare tactics still used by intelligence agencies today. And the mastermind behind it, Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, a scholar who turned personal revenge into the blueprint for global espionage. Our story begins with humiliation. The year is 340 BCE, and the place is Pataliputra, the capital of the mighty Nanda Empire in India. A young Brahmin scholar strides into the royal court, carrying scrolls of knowledge and the quiet confidence of youth. His name is Chanakya. He dares to seek an audience with King Nanda, one of India's most powerful rulers. His seeking recognition, maybe a position as a royal advisor. Instead, his words go unheard. King Nanda mocks his appearance, calling him ugly and unworthy, and he's thrown out. The guards drag him from the court, literally. But here's what the king didn't know. He had just humiliated the most dangerous mind of his era. As Chanakya picks himself up from the dust, he swears an oath. He will not tie his turban again until he destroys the Nanda dynasty. And the genius part, he won't use armies or weapons. He'll use something far deadlier. Information. Chanakya retreats into the forests and monasteries beyond the city walls, delving into ancient texts and studying the nature of power. He learns of spies in distant lands, of secret ciphers in Persian courts, and of the subtle art of winning wars without killing a single man. What came next would alter the fate of empires and change the course of history. Chanakya's first innovation, an intelligence web that would cover the length and breadth of the emerging Mauryan Empire. He built two types of spies, the Samstha or the fixed agents, who stayed in their posts, and the Sankara, mobile operatives, who crossed borders like ghosts. He called his fixed operatives the King's Five Eyes, each an expert in a realm of society that few others could penetrate. First came Parvataka, or the student spies, bright young minds plucked from the great universities of Taxila and Nalanda. Their mission: infiltrate the educated elite, spread dissent, and even start riots to break empires from within. They were the original social media influencers, but with deadly consequences. Next, the holy men or tapasas. Imagine a respected religious leader arrives in your town, builds an ashram, and starts predicting the future. What you don't know, he's actually Chanakya's spy. And those divine predictions are carefully orchestrated government operations designed to build credibility. These fake ascetics gathered intelligence from merchant guilds and business communities, their spiritual authority giving them access to secrets no soldier could obtain. Then came the Udasthata, former ascetics who had abandoned religious life. Chanakya gave them land and resources to build networks among traders and merchants. These fake holy men gathered economic intelligence from guild leaders, learning about market changes and hidden wealth. This information became crucial for negotiating treaties or destroying an enemy's trade routes. Next in Chanakya's design was the Virochaka, bankrupt merchants with nothing to lose. They traveled across important trade routes, gathering vital economic intelligence and turning every market into a source of secrets. The fifth eye was the Grihapataka or farmers, Chanakya's rural spy network, who acted as his early warning system, tracking taxes, local unrest and grievances, and signs of rebellion across the empire. And finally, the mobile units, 4 types of deadly operatives who moved like ghosts across kingdoms. Fortune tellers who read more than palms, gathering intelligence through social interactions and body language. Next were Tikshnas, the fearless assassins, willing to die for the mission, skilled in combat and dangerous operations. Then there were Razada, or poisoner masters, disguised as cooks, waiters, barbers, or entertainers, experts in herbs and chemicals, who could eliminate targets without leaving a trace. But perhaps most dangerous were the female spies. Mendicant women and wandering nuns operated under religious cover, gathering intelligence in women's quarters and private spaces where men couldn't go. Clever widows, disguised as ascetics, were sent to ministerial homes to overhear secrets. Even courtesans became intelligence assets, their intimate access to powerful men making them invaluable sources of information. Amid these legion eyes and wandering phantoms, Chanakya introduced a final, haunting weapon. The Vishkanyas, or the poisoned damsels. Born to families distant from royal courts, these girls were fed minute doses of venom over years, until their bodies became immune to poison. And they themselves became living weapons. One kiss, one intimate moment, and their target would die a seemingly natural death. Legends say these women entered enemy courts as lavish gifts, their beauty hiding lethal intent. Unseen, they brought silent deaths mistaken for illness, never suspected as Chanakya's deadliest operatives. With enemies falling mysteriously, Chanakya's network was ready to turn intelligence into decisive action. But recruiting spies was only half the game. Chanakya equipped them with advanced technology as well to secure their communication. Spies sent hidden notes, written in coded scripts, known as the kautilya cipher, disguised on palm leaves or cloth, so that any casual search would reveal nothing. Verbal messages were masked in riddles to confuse eavesdroppers. Invisible inks, made from plant juices and turmeric, carried orders unseen, until heat or certain chemicals revealed the hidden text. 3 independent confirmations from 3 different spies were required before any report was acted upon, ensuring double agents could not sway decisions. Architects designed secret compartments in palace walls, hidden staircases, trapdoors, and escape tunnels for agents and messengers to slip in or out without a trace. Next, Chanakya forged a system of rewards and punishments to bind his spy network together. Loyalty was guaranteed with generous pay, land grants, social advancement, and considerable wealth for their families. Betrayal, however, met swift and brutal justice. A traitor's fortune was seized, his family disgraced, and his life forfeit. By the time Chanakya finished, 29 occupational covers with 50 subcategories hid dozens of thousand operatives in plain sight. Governors and ministers received daily intelligence bulletins. Even trade routes and marketplaces reported back on price manipulation and smuggling. In cities like Taxila and Ujjayini, merchant guilds and craft associations unknowingly fed Chanakya's network information about tracking traders, unusual spending, and shifting supplies. So markets doubled as covert supply lines for state intelligence. This was no loose collection of informants. It was a single, cohesive machine, designed to watch, to warn, and to win before a sword was ever drawn. But Chanakya's brilliance wasn't just in theory. It came alive in strategic operations that reshaped entire kingdoms. Long before armies clashed, his network targeted key border posts and vital villages, using sharp intelligence to weaken enemies and secure territory without open battle. And the first was exacting out his revenge against King Nanda, and replacing him with his protege, Chandragupta Maurya. Whispers of revolt in the neighboring town of Magad reached Chanakya's ears through his farmer spies. And as Chandragupta's forces advanced towards Magad, Chanakya's spies in the city's council disabled patrols and leaked disinformation, leaving the capital vulnerable. By the time the Nanda king realized the trap, it was too late. The town's gates swung open to Chandragupta's army, and Chandragupta strode into Pataliputra. unopposed, effectively ending the rule of Nanda dynasty, establishing the Mauryan Empire, and Chandragupta as the king. Operation Signet Ring was Chanakya's next masterstroke. Rakshasa, Nanda's former finance minister, was proud, unyielding, and indispensable to any court. Chandragupta needed him, but Rakshasa refused allegiance. Chanakya's agents slipped into Rakshasa's quarters by night and stole his signet ring, the very seal of his authority. Using that ring, they forged letters that sowed doubt among Rakshasa's allies, implying betrayal and secret pacts. At the heart of this deception stood Jivasiddhi, a Jain monk posing as Rakshasa's confidant. Unbeknownst to Rakshasa, Jivasiddhi fed every whispered conversation back to Chanakya. In a matter of weeks, Rakshasa's support collapsed. With no allies left, he knelt before Chandragupta and offered his service, believing it was his only path to survival. One stolen ring had rewritten loyalty. Then came the royal assassination of Parvataka. King Parvataka, once Chandragupta's ally, demanded more power after the Nandas fell. To ensure Mauryan Empire's supremacy, Chanakya hatched a deadly plan and dispatched a Vishakanya to Parvataka's chambers. On their wedding night, Parvataka died, presumably from the poison, and Chandragupta Maurya was once again unchallenged. A single assassin became the instrument of political rulement. After Parvataka's death, Virochaka, Parvataka's brother, stood to claim half the kingdom, and invited Chandragupta and Chanakya on the day of his anointment. However, Chanakya anticipated trouble, and in truth, the palace architect Daruvaman, planted by Rakshasa, had constructed a trapdoor gateway that would collapse upon Chandragupta's elephant. On the fateful day, Chanakya reversed their plan. He had Virochaka mount the royal elephant, while Chandragupta took a different route. As the gateway collapsed, Daruvaman's sabotage turned on Virochaka himself, thereby killing him. In the ensuing chaos, Virochaka's followers slew the architect, believing he had killed their prince. The Greek connection was Chanakya's grandest demonstration of strategic brilliance. When Seleucus Nikata, Alexander's successor, advanced into northwestern India, many expected a costly war. Instead, Chanakya's wandering spies had already mapped Greek camp layouts, supply lines, and morale. Disinformation campaigns inflated Indian troop numbers. Forged letters hinted at more elephants, and phalanxes ready to strike. Economic warfare choked Greek provisions. Local traders, loyal to Chanakya's merchant spies, diverted food and fodder from Seleucus's camps. Convinced the cost of conquest outweighed the gains, Seleucus sued for peace. In the resulting treaty, he offered 500 war elephants and a marriage alliance, conceding vast territories, effectively ending the war before it even began. Beyond these operations, Chanakya's network quietly worked within Mauryan Empire's internal administration as well. Even at the highest levels, Chanakya placed spies as ministers' attendants, umbrella bearers, fan carriers, so that every crucial conversation flowed back to him. Through this relentless intelligence campaign, Chanakya forged one of the greatest empires in the world. Everything Chanakya did was guided by his four-pillar strategy: Sama or diplomacy, Dana or incentives, Bheda or division, and Danda or force. He began with negotiation, sending envoys to win allies and avoid conflict. If talks failed, he used gifts and bribes to turn rivals into partners, making loyalty more appealing than resistance. When neither diplomacy nor reward worked, Chanakya moved to division, using spies to spread rumors and ignite feuds within enemy ranks, often splintering kingdoms from the inside. If all else failed, he resorted to war, striking swiftly after internal strife had weakened defenses. Sieges were efficient. Engineers breached walls, elephants stormed through, and spies opened the gates. Battles ended swiftly, lasting days instead of months, with minimal bloodshed. Beyond the battlefield, Chanakya pioneered the art of psychological warfare. Chanakya would spread rumors of bad omens and fill besieged cities with images and visuals designed to erode enemy morale and spark fear of the Mauryan army. For Chanakya, victory depended more on strategy and information than on brute strength. Under Chanakya's guidance, Chandragupta Maurya built the largest empire in Indian history, from Afghanistan to Bengal, commanding over 5 million square kilometers, with more than 600,000 soldiers, thousands of cavalry, and war elephants. Trade routes flourished, wealth poured in, and for 137 years, the empire's stability impressed even Roman historians. Ancient historians and scholars, such as Megasthenes and Plutarch, have also spoken highly of Chanakya's intelligence system in their works, and how it even surpassed other great civilizations of the time, such as the Persians or Chinese. Still, debates persist. Some scholars argue that arthashastra came long after Chanakya's time. Others see his thinking as centuries ahead, rivaling Machiavelli and shaping global strategy for generations. While Chanakya's intelligence network set a lasting standard, scholars have long questioned the ethics behind his methods. His ruthless use of deception, assassination, and psychological manipulation often clashed with the traditional Indian values of Dharma, creating a tension between morality and statecraft. Chanakya was a pragmatist, a realist who believed that protecting the empire sometimes required harsh choices that didn't always align with spiritual ideals. This moral complexity makes his legacy all the more fascinating, revealing a man who prioritized survival and power over rigid adherence to ethics, a lesson that still challenges us today. No matter how the stories have evolved over time, one thing is certain: Chanakya's intelligence network set the standard for centuries. His legacy proves that information and knowledge can be more powerful than armies, and that silent battles shape history. If this glimpse into ancient espionage intrigued you, subscribe for more hidden histories. Like, share, and comment with the secrets you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next law.